Hello, I'm Jim Edgin with Gravity Golf. I've got a putting video for you today. Just information about putting. Now, if you're totally satisfied with your putting, or if you're on the other end of the spectrum where you know you're not a good putter and you'd like to understand why and what you can do to get better and kind of filter through a lot of the things you've been told to do to get better and weigh it out whether it's really the right thing to do or not, then this video is for you. Now, the first thing you've got to do is open your mind to the math and the science. All right, let's go. Okay, so the first thing you've got to understand is putting, contrary to popular belief, is not a different animal. Let me repeat that. Putting is not a different animal. The same laws of motion apply. Gravity is in play. The only difference is we want the putt to roll where we want the other balls to go airborne. But they're both of them, the airborne and the rolling, are kicked off the circle on the tangent. Okay? So this brings up a memory of a story that David Lee told me where he was playing a practice round with Gary Player back in the mid-70s, and they, along their walk, they got to talking about golf instruction, and that turned over to putting instruction, and Gary Player said, "Oh, but putting is a different animal, mate." Now, I apologize for my poor attempt at his accent, but it is a different animal because we make it a different animal. It's actually not a different animal in the eyes of math and science. Okay, so what are the things that we do that make it different? There are 4 specific things we do that make putting a different animal. Number 1 is the weight configuration of a putter. Now, I didn't bring a regular putter with me, but this is my David Lee designed Arcmaster putter. So 13 of your clubs in your bag, if you hold your finger like this, the toe is pointed straight down. 13 of them. And your 14th one, the vast majority, there are a few that point straight down. Heel shafted putters will point straight down, but the majority of them will be somewhere from there to there on the weighting, on the way that it's balanced. That's the first thing we do that makes it a different animal. The second thing we do is 13 of our clubs will have a round grip. The 14th one will have a grip with a flat top on it. As you can see, this one doesn't, right? So by using a different grip, different type grip, we make it a different animal, okay? The next thing we do is we grip it differently. 13 of our clubs in our bag, we grip a certain way, and the vast majority of people grip the 14th one differently. Split grip, double overlap, front hand low, claw. So these are all of those, the weighting, the grip itself, and the way we grip it, those are compensations that we're searching for to cover up the fact that we're not applying power properly. And that's the 4th thing we do that makes it an animal. Makes it an animal, really makes it an animal, makes it a different animal. So 13 of our clubs, we use some degree of core rotation, correct? The 14th one, we don't rotate our core. The most people. We get on a base, the most rigid shape known to man, which is a triangle, and we lock that down, and then we take our upper body, mainly our arms and shoulders, and we shove the ball at the hole, okay? So that makes it a different animal and creates the necessity for those first 3 things: a different weighted club, a different type of grip, and a different grip itself. You got it? right, so let's talk about putting on the arc. And you know, some of the greatest putters that ever played the game, Bobby Locke, Tiger Woods, they had their club on the arc, which is the natural way for that club to move. If you're trying to hold the face square to the line and you're trying to stroke it on a line, you are bringing muscles into play that you do not need, and muscles that will make your touch and your feel much more complicated. All right, so we're going to putt on the arc first and foremost, but more importantly, we're going to do it correctly. We're going to take a single load-bearing point, our front leg, and most specifically toward the heel, and we're going to rotate around that single point with our core rotation. Okay, by doing that, we're moving the club in the natural manner, and we're attaching a lot more mass to the creation of the kinetic energy that goes to move that ball. When we don't have very much mass involved, our arms, our shoulders only, then we have to create more speed to cover the distance, which means we have to use more of our potential energy, which means more things can go wrong. So we're going to load up on a single load-bearing point. We're going to attach the club to us with the same grip on the same type grip, and we're just going to move naturally with our core rotation as the power source. By doing that, you'll get really, really good on your distance control, and then it's just about the geometry. The geometry is there's a line from your center of mass, which at this point will be right off of the heel of your front foot. That line goes to the outside of the circle, or the edge of the circle, that being the ball, and the tangent is always going to be 90 degrees to that radius line, provided the club face is correct, and that's where the proper grip comes in, and just attaching that to your core rotation with no shifting of weight. All right, let's roll a few and see what it looks like. Okay, hopefully that down the line view showed you how much touch you can have on those putts. That's a slippery downhill putt. Got lucky and made one of them. The other two slightly missed, but they were all three actually perfectly powered. If I would have missed that first one, it would have went about 1.5 feet by the hole there. So then the face on should have been able to show you that the core rotation is what was moving that golf ball, not application of any upper body muscle. Okay, now how do you implement this? How do you start doing this? You don't have to go buy a new putter. You don't have to go get your putter regripped. Start doing this with your driver. The driver will expose all the things that you're doing wrong and give your subconscious a chance to fix it. It's like having a huge magnifying glass on your power application. Just remember, you load your front foot up, and then you just attach the club to you and make core rotation motion. Best club again to do that with is the driver. Let's go roll a few, let you see what I'm talking about. Okay, as you can see, those down the line, 3 that I rolled down to the hole were powered very nicely. You could also see that the ball comes off rolling off the club face, which is important. When you first do this, it'll hop off the club face. The face-on view showed you that the core rotation was the power source around a single load-bearing point, which makes you like a geometric compass. One point and draws the circle. If you have weight on both feet, you are then essentially a 2-pointed geometric compass, and it's impossible to draw a good circle without one of those points ripping the paper, or in the case of a human, we have slack, so we can move things independently. So to make that work, we end up moving things independently and disconnecting mass. Okay, so you want to lean it over and have one load-bearing point, rotate around that, create more kinetic energy from your mass, and less dependence on the speed. Therefore, your touch will get tremendously better. So in closing, just let me say, David Lee was by far the best putter I ever saw in my life. This is how he would putt. And the reason why you don't see anybody doing this is it wasn't taught hardly at all. I mean, David and a few others in the history of this game are all that taught true putting on the arc around a single load-bearing point. So open your mind, look at the math and the science, go out and give it a try and see if it doesn't make you better. Then you can make up your own mind. Is it something you want to pursue, or would you rather just go ahead and stay putting the way you are and be happy with whatever you've got? So give us a like and a share. Leave us a comment. All that helps us grow. You can send me an email, jim@gravitygolf.com, or you can go over to our website, gravitygolf.com, learn a lot more about what we've got going on. Daniel Lee, of course, is carrying on the family tradition here, and we're looking forward to a really good 2025. So thanks for watching. Above all else, though, stay safe and keep swinging.